Welcome back. Joining me now, as he does each and every week, is Sky News Australia's media watchdog columnist, Gerard Henderson. Now, thank you, as you always come in every week with some cracker grabs and some critiques on our friends in the media.
Yes.
Linton Besser is up again. Should we have a listen to the grab?
Great,
Call me old-fashioned, but I do wonder what happened to checking such things before you go on air.
Fact-checking. What do you think about this?
Well, as usual, I mean, Linton Besser sort of ascended into the pulpit of this to give a sermon, the Media Watch pulpit, where he lectures everyone and telling everyone that they've got to check their facts, because some people in the segment that he showed did get a few facts wrong. But I mean, this is a guy who should check his own facts. I mean, I know lots of authors, but Linton Besser had a book pulped because it contained a huge factual error of a defamatory kind, and there are also other errors in the book, which Milton Cockburn has pointed out in his book on Neville Rand. So there's a person preaching to journalists about the need to check facts without saying, well, look, you know, a few decades ago I had a bit of a problem too. I had to get my book pulped. I mean, we all make mistakes, which is my basic point. But this is never conceded on Media Watch. It's always a lecture, a sermon, sort of a preaching, like an old-fashioned religious preacher telling other journalists what to do.
He's very confident about it, isn't he? You wouldn't know that he's ever had an issue.
No.
The way that he talks. You'd think he's some kind of deity.
Well, I just watching it last Monday and I thought, hang on, I remember. This bloke had a problem. So I dug out the book.
I also had problems
It's corrected in the second edition,
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's move on to Planet America.
Yeah.
And you've pulled out some grabs for us to have a listen to. So let's...
Wow, that white guy's pretty fly, John. Give the man some beats.
Let's do this. We're gonna fight to win, not to lose. Fight to win, fight to win. We're gonna go on offense, not just on defense. Maximum lethality, not tepid legality. Violent effect, not politically correct. We're gonna raise up warriors, not just defenders. So this War Department, Mr. President, just like America, is back.
This funky name change is going to make all the difference, I'm sure, John.
For me, this looks like kind of, you know, like a boomer trying to be young. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I do, because Chess is one of the old Chaser boys, and I think their average age now is 49 and a half is their age of the Chaser boys. So there he is in his T-shirt, sort of jumping around and stuff. This is on the main ABC channel, and it's supposed to be serious. John Barron's there in a tie and stuff. So there's Chaz jumping up and down about the fact that the US Secretary of Defence has now become the US Secretary of War, but they haven't gone to war yet. So, but I thought, I can understand why your young producer may find it funny, but to me, Chaz looked like he was sort of dressed up on his way to the tip, and he was jumping around, and the Secretary of Defence is all sort of fuzzied up. I mean,
I don't know. I think that I hear so often from the ABC about, well, we don't have the budget to do this. Its regional coverage is appalling.
Yes.
They don't have journalists outside of these little insular enclaves that they've got. And then they just waste money on just garbage like this. Maybe I'm being a bit old and stuffy, but it irritates me.
Well, you're not old. But I think the point is here that, you know, we don't really need this program. I mean, there's so much coverage that you can get on United States politics without needing a couple of blokes to turn up on a Tuesday night in Sydney and put something to wear with to have a bit of fun.
Agree, and I am old at soul, if that still helps. Now, the Sydney Morning Herald, the Brittany Higgins coverage, the biggest defamation case that we've had in a very long time. She's going to find it very hard to pay this $1.5 million, whatever the figure ends up being with costs. Massive hit. How did the Sydney Morning Herald cover it?
Well, I picked up the Sydney Morning Herald on the 10th of September in the print edition. Nothing in it. There's a really big story, huge implications for defamation law in this country. The original case and the damages case. The damages case, no coverage at all. You wouldn't know it happened.
I mean, that's extraordinary because it led every single news cycle. The Sydney Morning Herald was one of those newsrooms which got behind it. Obviously, it showed that huge parts of the narrative, as we've discussed, huge parts of these narratives ended up being false in terms of government cover-up, but obviously the ones with Linda Reynolds, but the Fiona Brown assertions, false. You'd think that at least maybe want to correct the record.
Well, particularly since it played such a role in the 2022 election. I mean, it could have led to the coalition's defeat, these various stories. So now they've all come out. Certainly it was reportable, whether it's damages or the main case. And you could find this report tucked away on the website, but it was very hard to find that as well.
Yeah, it certainly didn't help them. Gerard Henderson, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.